Welcome to this Carveco tutorial where we are going to put together a 3D model to carve on a CNC router of a coat of arms. So the first thing we do is we go and start a new model, and for this we need high resolution, so you need to put the slider bar all the way up as far as it'll go, and actually the dimensions are set okay for what we want to do. They're a little large, but that's okay. I prefer to have a little bit more material than not. Millimeters, we're working in millimeter units, and we want zero position to be in the center of the material. I find it in this particular case, because it's going to be a shield in here, and I'm going to make the shield as large as I can, so it's going to be the exact measurements that I have of the material. So it's better, I find it much better to start or have the zero in the center of the job. Easy to mark out, easy to position the tool and set your zero. So I'm going to press OK. So there's our material. Now we're going to go straight into the relief clip art library, and as you can see, there are hundreds and hundreds of reliefs ready for you to use, and you can put as many as you wish into one project, and that is the subject of today's video. There's a shield there already made, but we want to make one ourselves. So here's a blank shield, but when we bring it in, it's going to be rather big, so we're going to have to resize this. As you can see, it's huge. It's actually life size. So what we need to do is take the lock off, and we're going to put our own dimensions in here. And what I've done is I've layered up a piece of oak onto a piece of pine, and I'm going to cut the both together, whereas the shield is going to be left as oak onto a pine background. And the piece of oak that I have on there is width is 185 and the height is 250, and we want it 19 millimeters, which is approximately 3/4 of an inch. Apply that, and now we want to place this now into the center of the material. So to ensure that it's in the center of the material, we can just go in here and just press 0 and 0, because we've made the center of the workpiece the 0 point, and it will jump into the center of the material. And now we can merge high and paste it down, and there it is. So just close that a minute, get our twiddle tool and have a look, and there's our shield. If if ever you move this and you can't actually get it back right, so you're looking at it square on, all you have to do is go up and touch one of these boxes, and it will take you to a plane that is pretty exact. That one, sort of, you square onto it there. So we are now going to put a 3D relief in each of these panels. So we'll open up the relief clip art library again. I won't have any animals in it. Incidentally, there's over 600 of these 3D clip arts, we'll call them. Oh, here we are. There's a castle. We'll have a nice castle, which is rather small. So we place it into the center of that. And we're going to make that a little bigger, I think. So what we're going to do, we're going to lock these together. So we keep the aspect ratio then. And let's see, the width, I think I'm going to make that one 50. And I think we're going to make that 3 millimeters. And we'll apply that to make sure it's about the right size in that panel. I don't think we need to go any bigger than that. So now we have to alter this down here because we need to add this on, not merge high. We need to place it on top of the relief we already have there, so we need to add it. So we're going to paste that down, and there it is. We'll have a little look at that first. Make sure that we're happy with it. I think that's a good size. We don't want to overpower the relief. That looks fine. So we're happy with that. So now we'll look for another relief. And let's see, a crown would be nice, wouldn't it? Put a crown there. In the middle, and we'll make that crown. It's very helpful to keep the aspect ratio between X and Y locked, so you know you only have to alter one. It doesn't pull it or distort it. Let's say 50 again, I think. And 3 millimeters, that'll be high enough, I think, I'm sure. I'll apply that. I don't think that's too, is it too big? Let's make it a little smaller. Make 45. Apply that. That's a little better, I think. And again, we're adding it onto or on top of the 3D relief we have underneath it there. So we paste. We'll check that one out. That looks okay. I'm quite happy with that. Okay, so let's choose yet another one. And there's some beautiful reliefs here to choose from too. Unicorn. In this one, I think. And I think this time we'll alter it in the the height, and we'll say 50. And again, I think we'll keep it 3mm as well. Otherwise, it's, you know, we're going to distort it. Otherwise, I think. Apply. I think we're going to move it up slightly. I'm using the arrow keys. I think that's out a little bit. Yeah, I'm happy with that there. So add and paste it down. Yeah, that looks fine. And then for the third one, I think we need to put a dragon in, I'm sure. Which dragon to put in? Now that looks like a Welsh dragon to me. Oh, that's a Welsh dragon. And being from Wales originally, we'll put that one there. And we'll alter the size of that one again. Again, we'll use the height for this, 50mm. Keep everything sort of uniform, I think. 3mm in depth. Apply. Yeah, that looks okay. I think I'm quite happy with it. Move it towards the right, I think. Not too much. And again, add it. That looks okay. I'm happy with that. So let's have a general look around this. To make sure we ultimately are happy. And something I like to do as well, and that's to look to see whether one of these reliefs is going to be out over the top, because 19mm is going to take us to about there. And what we don't want is for any of these added 3D reliefs to go poking it through the top of the material and not get cut. So I always give it a little check like that, and everything appears to be fine. So what I'm going to do now is go straight and do a machining strategy for this. So we go to Tools, 3D, and again this particular one we can use, you know, one tool and do one machining cut, a finishing machining cut, and it's just fine. So we're going to do the whole relief. The tool that I want to use actually doesn't exist at the moment, so I'm going to create a new tool. So I'm going to choose the 1.5mm ball mill, and I'm going to copy it so it appears twice, and I'm going to select the one above because it's going to be the new tool, and then we are going to edit this. Now this description here is what is going to appear in the tooling list. So what we're going to do is going to put a capital letter T here for tapered. It's a tapered ball mill, and it's a 2mm 2.0. I have carbide 2mm tapered ball mills, and I would advise, you know, this type of machining to use that tool, because I mean it will last you a long time, and no fear of it snapping off. So that will appear in the tooling list. Really it doesn't matter. I don't have a tool changer, so this doesn't matter. If you had a tool changer, you would put the number position or the tool number that you would want in here in this box. Millimeters, rate units, millimeters per second. This is all correct. Of course we have to alter this. The diameter will be 2 millimeters. Step down, we can, that really doesn't matter to us at this stage. And these really at this stage, you know, we alter these for every different type of job anyway, so we don't have to alter this now. So we can accept that and OK it and select that tool. And it is at this point now that we go in and set it up for this particular job. Step over 0.2 of a millimeter, that's okay. It's not going to leave any lines, and it shouldn't leave any fur in either. If there's any chance of leaving any fur in, what I sometimes do is I put this down to 1.5. Okay, so it's 0.15. That eliminates any furring, so it cuts down the amount of handwork that you have to do, or hand finishing. Step down. This doesn't really matter at this point. Feed rate, it's going to cut the whole lot in one go. Feed rate. Now, my particular machine is a 6012 CNC router. It's got a cast iron backbone. It's an industrial machine, so it will quite happily withstand 60 or even 80 millimeters per second. And I normally set this at 50% of that rate, which is 30. And running at these speeds, you need to speed this up. So we're going to be doing 22,000 RPM. Tool number, this really doesn't matter to us. Leading moves, we don't require that. Safe said 20, that's okay. Material 19 millimeters, that's absolutely correct. Model position, correct. Everything's fine. Okay. And we'll just so this is test number 4, and we're going to calculate. Ooh, sea of red. There is an awful lot of machining cuts here. So what we're going to do now is do a simulation, which is this tag here, and we want it fast, and all relief, nothing else to alter there, and press simulate. Okay, so that's our part machined, and generally what you see on this screen after the simulation is exactly what the CNC router is going to do and what the finished product is going to look like. Talking about finishing product and what it looks like, let's change the material. Let's depth of color, let's apply that. That looks like charcoal to me, not light oak at all. So I think we can change that by going up here to the little light, and we can alter some of the filters here to make it look something like light oak. Let's have a look here. That looks a little better, but I think we can make it look a lot better than that even. Now we don't want blue. Color palette. A little bit of gold there. Yeah, I think that's what we need. Starting to look a little better here. Do you know, rather than wood, I kind of like that actually. Let's turn the depth off. No. I rather like that actually. Well, let's play around with the colours again. I rather like that. So let's save the toolpath now. Test 4. Test 4 and machine format. Now let's change the machine format to. Now a lot of people ask me this actually. What do I save it in? Well, what you need to do, and Carveco, you know, has been set up to talk to many different machines in many different languages, but the one that all machines I have found to understand is G-code millimeters tap. That's what I always use. Now we want to browse where we want to send it to. I want to send it to the desktop. I want to send it to the desktop. Open desktop test 4, so it's easy for me to get to, and we're going to save it. And then we're going to close that. And I always like to save the file as well. Save as capitals. Test 4 actually, isn't it? So I should put it 4-4 so it doesn't mix with what I've already got on there, and save. And it's done. So thank you for joining me for this tutorial, and I will leave a link below this tutorial to go and have a look at Carveco yourself at their website. And please press like and subscribe to my channel, and I hope you join me again for another tutorial video. Incidentally, the next video after this will be me machining this on my CNC router. So it's bye for now.